I keep snapping. Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you're doing super well. This video came out of the blue, pun intended. I couldn't sleep a couple of nights ago, and then all of a sudden I just remembered this super cute memory, and I thought, what would be a great excuse for me to tell this memory to you guys? I'm gonna tell you some of my favorite memories about boys that I've liked before. And just for the purpose of privacy, I've decided to change their names into different colors of the rainbow. I hope that's cool with you because it's cool with me. So let's get to it. Mr. Red was my best friend, was a very funny guy. I remember him just constantly making me laugh. There was this one night where I had just moved to a new house, and it was the first time that I'd ever slept alone. At school, I told Mr. Big Red, oh my god. I told Mr. Red about my dilemma, and he was like, when you're about to sleep, text me / call me. I got you. That night, it was dark, I was in a big bed, I was all alone, I was really scared, and so I called Mr. Red. It's like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to keep chatting until you fall asleep. Put my phone beside my bed, put it on speaker. He did the same as well, as he claimed. We just talked and talked and talked, and as the night wore on, we just sort of dropped into a whisper. It just ended up both of us breathing, which sounds kind of creepy now that I think about it. But when it's really dark and you're really scared and you hear someone else breathing beside you, even if it's from a phone, it's really comforting. He just breathed into his phone until I fell asleep. I know. It's a novel material, people. Second one. Mr. Orange was Mr. Popular. I feel like in a girl's life, some of us are just so susceptible to crushing on the bad popular guy. And that's was me. I knew he was one of the popular kids, which is why I'm kind of like against having a crush on him. But what do you know? Things worked in a different way. We started talking, this and that. I remember just coming back home from this educational trip, and I bought him a little penguin doll with like massive golden eyes. And then a couple weeks later, he threw this barbecue pool party thing. Such a cool kid for my entire classmate. Jumped into the pool all together. During the barbecue, his little brother came up to me and he's like, I want to show you something. We sneaked into his room, privacy breach 101. And his little brother said, are you the one who gave that to him? And then he pointed at my little penguin sitting on his bed. I remember his bed just being super empty. It was just like a very muy macho bed. Cute. He kept it. Didn't toss it out. Mr. Yellow. We were on and off for about 3 years. It was a very serious relationship. Very intense as well. Emotional roller coaster. We were chilling at his place, watching stuff, doing, you know, other things. He was like, hey, babe, do you want dinner? And I was like, yeah. Went to the grocery shop. I was wearing his flip-flops, which was just way too big. We went down the fruits lane. I was trying to grab some fruits because the floor was slippery and his flip-flops were just like, on my feet. So I slid down the floor and then he caught me and he was like, oh my god, are you okay? So we started laughing and laughing and laughing. And I remember him grabbing me by the waist and putting me on top of his feet. Do I need to demonstrate? Oh no, all of my dolls are on the side. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm facing his chest and then he's like holding my waist and I'm holding, and my hanger fell and I'm holding his waist and then he just skated forward. So I was skating backward and everyone in the store was watching us, but didn't give a damn. We're just like having a blast, just laughing and kissing and such. Mr. Green, oh my. This is actually what people would call a puppy love. I'm not a big fan of that term, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like it's really downgrading to call a kid's relationship puppy love because it feels like it doesn't matter, but then to them, it's every bit of real as it can be. I remember Mr. Green just being the most romantic. He was so sweet, so caring. At the end of our conversations, he would just be like, love you, with like an X or something, which is just, it's too cute. We came home from school, 6th grade, super tiny. We're on the phone. He said, have you checked your school bag? I rummaged through my books and I find this itty bitty necklace. It had this dark green string because green was my favorite color, still is. It had a wooden cross. I don't know specifically what the middle is made of. It looks like some gold wire just like spun and bent into the shape of Jesus, he was super religious, by the way. I was just flying on cloud 9 because I was crazy about this little boy. And he's like, yeah, I made it myself. And I got bruises and scars to prove it. And I was like, really? So then the next day, I had a look of his hands. And there were, folks, little tiny itty bitty scars and battle wounds, as he called it, on his fingers. Ooh, next one. Oh, this story, my God. I'm sorry. I'm just having such a blast just remembering all these things about these boys. Our homeroom teacher would put us into groups of 4. I was in the same group with Mr. Blue. People knew him because he was smart. And then there's 2 other boys. 2 of those boys, they're like the rowdy boys in class. So they started play matchmaker and being like, ooh, you guys are gonna get married. You're the bride and you're the groom and blah, 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 blah. And then the teacher asked Mr. Blue to answer this question on the board. Mr. Blue came up to the chalkboard, and because we were the frontest one in the class, he could still hear what they were saying. They were just like teasing me on and on and on. And then all of a sudden, I saw this chalk just fly by my eyesight, flew by my vision. I was so confused. And then I looked over to him and I saw him just looking so angry. Oh my God, I need to show you guys. I have proof of this story. Oh, these 2 boys calling us bride, and we're just like angry in the bottom. Afterward, he was chosen as group leader, and then he could choose anyone to be his teammate, and then he wrote my name first. There's like a drawing of him on the board, and then there's the writing, and guess who he chose first? Moi! We all went to the lab together, did our experiment, and it was about poop. So it was like the funnest experiment ever. Basically, they told us to bring dough and a bunch of food colorings, black bile, and then put in some like food coloring into the dough inside the plastic, blah 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 enzyme, and put in like green food coloring, and then we would just mash it inside the plastic bag together and squirt it out as poop. I had a blast with Mr. Blue. During the experiment, I asked him, hey, are you okay? You seem pretty pissed back there. He was like, yeah, I was just really pissed that they were pissing you off, and I just wanted to get them to stop. And I was like, I'll be damned. He's the cutest little boy in the world. Ooh, weird. And he doesn't know this, so let's hope he never watches this video. Otherwise, he would probably recognize that poop experiment. So, Mr. Violet. Oh, Mr. Violet. He lives in his own little world, but you want to be a part of that world? A part of your world. He was helping me get through my assignments and stuff. Oh my God. And because our birthdays are kind of close together, I wrote him this card. I wrote it with numbers, and then basically it's like the numbers of the alphabet. A would be 1, B would be 2. I just wrote on the bottom like, you have to crack it if you want to see what it means. And then he did, and he absolutely loved it. So then for my birthday, he gave me this effing equation. He said, if you want to know your birthday message, you have to solve it. And I'm like, you studious little freak. Basically, there's just this guy, and he's just studying all these little specimens, shall we call it, and one of them has caught his eye, and it is a coded number. So when you solve the equation, you'll get 2749, and that's my student number. Basically, it's like a metaphor for him digging me. I'm mostly just really happy that I solved the equation. I was just so proud of myself for being able to figure it out. Last but not least, Mr. Pink. Fitting name. Mr. Pink was immediately one of those people who you meet less than 20 minutes and you're like, I want to be their friend. I want them to be my friend forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. We were walking down the street. It was nighttime. We had just hung out. And then he took my hand and I panicked. I was trying to come up with an excuse so that he wouldn't be able to hold my hand. But the only thing in my head was, you can't hold my hand. My thumb's injured. I don't know why I said that. It wasn't injured. There was no band-aid or anything in there. And he's like, what? And he just started checking my thumb. He's like, no, it's not. It's totally fine. And then I was like, we can't hold hands because we're friends. And then he just took my hand again. I remember him saying with this really cheeky smile, why can't friends hold hands? And then I just knew at that moment, I was like, relationship progressed. He told me that he liked me. I said, I will think about it. During that thinking phase, he was like, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, period cramps. Do you want me to come over? Yeah, sure. Started talking. I went to lie down on the couch, and then he laid down with me. You guys have seen what my apartment looks like, right? If not, then I'll link somewhere where you can. It was sunset. The sky was just super pretty. We were just both like, wow, damn. It was just that mood, I guess, because we were face to face. I remember I just started laughing and just giggling, and I was like, can I kiss you? And then he just laughed, and he did. You know that Taylor Swift song? I've always hated the line, really something. Really something? Really something? What does that mean? What does this something mean? But then I remember in that moment, the only way that I could describe it, it's like, it's really something. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Thank you for joining me down this really wacky, cheesy memory lane. If you have a cute story that you want to share, feel free to drop it in the comments below, and we'll lol and be nostalgic together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, happy, beautiful. Bye!